What does that even mean, Bowers Game Corner?
Oh, hey there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another game review, another special Kickstarter review. And today I'm very excited to check out GemPacked cards from Pencil First Games. This is for 2 to 5 players, ages 8 plus. It'll take you about 20 minutes to play. And in GemPacked cards, you are going to collect pips, to collect cards, to collect diamonds, to collect victory points. Yeah, it's a game like that. Really not too much theme in this game. Cutesy artwork. Apparently it's going to also be turned into a mobile game as well. It is a lightweight family-style game, but is it good? I don't know. Let's check it out and I'll tell you. Alright then, we're going to take a look at what you're going to get inside of GemPacked cards. So before we get started, I want to mention this is a promotional copy I have in front of me, so take everything you see here with a grain of salt. One big component I'm missing is going to be the really nice bag that you're going to get to hold all of your pips. I don't have that because they don't have one yet. I'm not actually using any bags at all at the moment because I want to show you the game and it's a lot easier to do it if it's not in the bag. So yeah, take everything you see here with a grain of salt. So first and foremost, we got our handy dandy rule booklet. It is 10 pages, double-sided, full color, full of pictures, illustrations, examples. It's a very well done rule booklet, very small rule booklet, and it'll have you up and running in about no time at all. So big thumbs up on the rule booklet. So what are you going to be doing in GemPacked cards? In GemPacked cards, on your turn, you're going to draw some of these little pip tokens right here. You're going to be spending these pip tokens to buy squares up on this board right here. Then you're going to be turning those squares into diamonds, which diamonds will get you more victory points, so they will hopefully help you complete some of these goals down here, which will gain you even more victory points. So essentially, you're going to be trading pips for cards and cards for cards, and then trading those cards for these cards, and these cards are going to get you big points at the end of the game. Now, before we get started to teach the game, I do want to mention that you only see half the components right now. That is because we have a 2-player game set up. If you play with more players, 4 and 5 players, you would take this blue deck of cards, and you'd mix it in with the yellow deck of cards, and also you would have more pips, and they are blue-backed pips, so you know exactly which ones you want to take out if you're playing with more or less players. So that is kind of convenient. Also, you would have additional ways to score points down here. The more players you have, the more of these goal cards you're going to have right here. And also, the more of these goal cards you would have down here. So right now, we only have 2 down here. So, let's go over the components, and then we'll get a little bit into the gameplay. So first, we got our pips up here. As I mentioned, you're going to be using these a lot, and they come in various different colors. They got red, they got the wild ones, which are great. You got blue and purple and yellow and green, all sorts of different colors that you'll be eventually using to purchase these cards out here. When you begin your turn, you're always going to have 9 cards. These are going to come in all sorts of different colors as well, yellow and blue and purple. Some of them will even be wild, which are very hard to get, but they are very good to get because they will help you out quite a lot. But yeah, in addition, in this deck, there's also going to be some crazy cards. They're called action cards that will do various different things. So you'll have these little asteroid guys that will allow you to draw pips randomly out of the bag. So that one's pretty nice. Everybody gets to do that. And then this one, when this pops up, so if this popped up right here, then every player is going to take turns, and they're going to remove one of these cards that's touching it, which can kind of sting. So for instance, if you know somebody's going, say for instance, that purple card right there, because they're going for that objective, you might say, hey, I'm going to get rid of that, because I'm not going for that one. So those are some of the action cards you're going to encounter in the game as well. So those are the cards you got up here. Next, you're going to have goal cards. And when you play the game, you are never going to use all the goal cards, because as you can see, there are a lot of different goal cards here. And you're only going to have 1 more goal card than you have players. So for this game, since we got a 2-player game set up, we would have 3 gold cards down here. And these are pretty simple. So for instance, if I can get a purple diamond, a blue diamond, a yellow square, and a wild pip, I'm going to score 11 points, which is a lot of points. Likewise, we'll take a look at one more. This one is 2 green diamonds, so you're going to be having to get a lot of green, a purple pip, and a red square. And that's going to score you 9 points, and when you collect that, you would turn in all those things, and you would get that card. No one can steal it from you, none of that shenanigans and nonsense. Next, you're going to have 2 more ways to score points down here. This one is you just turn in 3 pips of any color you want, and boom, you'll score a victory point, flip it over, and hooray, you have a victory point at the end of the game. So if you got extra pips, might be the way to go. Next, this one's going to allow you to turn in 3 random cards, any ones you want. Probably going to want to turn in squares, though, since they're generally only worth 1 victory point. And boom, that one will be worth 6 victory points at the end of the game, which is quite a good deal of victory points once again. So let's go over the game plan. I'll show you how it works. So when you start off the game, you're going to start off with 2 random pips, so we'll just draw this one. Woo, we got a good start. We have 2 reds right here. Now, at the beginning of your turn, you are going to draw 2 cards, or 2 pips, I should say, 2 random pips. So we'll just draw, 2 yellows right there. So that's pretty good. And you're going to take a look at the board, and you're going to be able to take a couple different actions. First one you can do is you can buy a square from the grid. Now, right now, unfortunately, there's no square we can buy. Because right now we could buy either a red square, because that would cost 2 red pips, or an orange square, because that would cost 2 orange pips. Now there's an orange diamond up there, but we can't pick that one up because that would require 2 red squares. And right now we only have 2 orange pips. So there's not really any actions we could take right now. Now you could also buy a diamond, and that would cost you 2 of that colored square. So for instance, we would need 2 yellow squares in order to purchase this diamond. We obviously don't have that. You can sell one of your squares for 2 colors of that pip. So this one would get you 2 yellow cards. This one would either get you 2 green pips or a red and a yellow pip. Or blue and yellow. Sorry, my colors are terrible. So potentially to get like a green or a purple or one of those colors that's not one of the primary colors, when you sell it, you can get, instead of 2 of the same color, you can get mix and match your colors, which can really help you out. But right now we can't also do that because we don't have any square cards in front of us. Next, you can buy a sun card down here, which I could do right now if I wanted. I could go ahead and buy this and lock down 1 victory point at the end of the game. But you know what? I really don't feel like doing that at the moment. And that's what I can do on my turn. So if I decide not to take any actions on my turn, I can draw 1 more random pip card, which I would do. And I got a blue. And that would be the end of my turn. So then the next player would go, and then I would go and get back to me. Now what's going to happen is, let's pretend that we got 2 yellows. And I acquired this. So I would say, I'm going to put these, I put them in the discard pile, and then I'd put this card right here in front of me. Now I don't put that down, and boom. So it's a red diamond. Now if you ever get too many diamonds, which I don't think we can do right now, if you ever get 7 diamonds, you can wipe them away and get new cards out there. So that way it doesn't get stagnant. But anywho, you're going to continue to do this, purchasing pips, purchasing squares, selling pips, selling squares to get more pips, trying to get diamonds, eventually collecting these guys until you run completely out of pips. When you completely run out of pips, each player will get 1 more turn, and whoever has the most points at the end of the game will be the winner of the game. If there's a tie, whoever has the most pips is going to be the winner of the game. And that, in a nutshell, is how GemPacked Cards is played. Before we get into the pros and cons, I do want to mention one thing I forgot to mention in the middle part, and that is you have unlimited actions on your turn. I just wanted to mention that right now. But GemPacked Cards from Pencil First Games LLC. What are my final thoughts? Let's go over the pros. Let's go over the cons. First, on the con side, the game is not going to be for everybody for a variety of different reasons. First one is there's no theme whatsoever. In fact, it feels a little bit Euro-y. You're going to be collecting pips to collect squares, to collect diamonds, to collect victory points. There's no theme whatsoever. Also, the artwork's going to be a turn-off to some people. It's got the cutesy, Japanesey, J-poppy kind of thing, and that's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. Also, if you're not in the market for a lightweight filler game or a family game, this one might not be for you because it definitely falls into that realm. Continuing onward, you're going to be doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over again until you run out of pips and tally out victory points. So if you're looking for a game that has, branching out choices and lots of different things you can do, this one might not be for you. One more con I have of this game, a component con, and it might or it might not be a con, depending on the final Kickstarter, I'm not exactly sure, is this game needs a cheat sheet card. To show you the actions you can take on a turn, that's only a minor concern of mine, but mostly for the colors, because I'm big enough to admit that we constantly, some of us at least, constantly have to go back to the rule booklet, because you can sell your squares in order to get more pips. And I was like, I don't remember what color purple is made of, so I'd have to go back and check for purple. And be like, I don't remember what color orange is made of, so I'd have to go check orange, and it'd just be nice if I would have that in front of you. I was not the only person, by the way, so it's not just me, but yes, other people have that issue, so it'd be nice if there was a cheat sheet card to help you do that. Any other cons I have with the game? The name's kind of lame. I feel like the name's really weird. That's about it. Moving on to the pros. I was not the most sure of GemPacked Cards. I thought the name was kind of dumb. I didn't like the artwork. I noticed there was no theme whatsoever, and I was like, It'll probably be okay, but I'm not going to be smitten with it. I am, in fact, smitten with GemPacked cards from Pencil First Games LLC. This is a fantastic lightweight filler or family game. If you're in the market for either one of those, I highly recommend checking this one out. Why? Well, that's a great question. I'll tell you. First and foremost, the game scales really well. 2 to 5 players, it plays well at all counts. Now, it is going to add extra time with more players, but not a substantial amount as long as nobody has analysis paralysis. Also, the game is very, very easy to learn and to teach, which is always a good thing. You reach in, you grab 2 pips, you see if you can buy stuff, you buy it or you don't buy it, and then eventually you might trade stuff, you might do this, you might do that, but it's a very simple game to learn and teach, which is especially great for a filler game or for a family game. So big thumbs up on that. Also, component-wise, I mean, this is a promotional copy that I have in front of me, so it's not the final version, but still, everything is pretty nice. So I'm sure once this thing gets to Kickstarter, you're going to get the nice felt bag, you're going to have nice chips, nice cards. Everything is nice. Also, the rule booklet, very, very well done. It looks very pretty. Another pro I got on this is that this is going to be a very compact game. I mean, what you see right here is pretty small, and I imagine this game is going to be one of those ones you can just throw into a book bag, possibly even in your pocket, depending on how large the game is, and that's always a good thing. Continuing on with the pros, I mean, it says for ages 8+. I definitely think it will fit that bill. I imagine you can play this with 7, 8-year-olds, no problem at all, which is always a great thing for that family crowd. But getting more into the strategy of the game, what I like about the strategy of the game, I really liked 2 main things. The first one is when you finally realize how valuable it is just to buy cards so that you can then trade them for more pips later. Like, you might have 2 green pips in front of you. And you're like, I don't need 2 green pips. What am I going to do with, or I don't need that green square out there. I have no need for this green square out there, but you still buy it. And you'll eventually realize you'll buy that because then you can turn around and you can sell that for a blue and a yellow pip, which might help you achieve your goal. So there's like this cool little mechanism where it's like you're buying things just to turn around and sell them so you can then buy something else, which then you can trade up, and that will help you accomplish your goals. I also like the tension in this game. There is a limited number of goal cards down there, and they are difficult to achieve. And if you are racing with someone to get one of those, one of you is going to be really screwed over if the other person gets that. And you're going to be like completely just like, oh my gosh, what do I do now? Because he just acquired that, and I like that bit of tension. I also like the advanced variants in this game. You start with the beginning variant where your pips are all face up. However, once you get to the advanced version, your pips are face down. So if someone else is going for something you want, you never know how close or how far they are away from it. And it adds just an added little bit of tension. Keeping on with the tension, I also liked how tight the points were. Most of the games that we played were within, 3-4 points. Just about everybody was very close together unless they completely screwed the pooch and didn't get their goal card they were achieving. And I like that quite a bit. So overall, GemPacked cards from Pencil First Games LLC. Pleasantly surprised. If you were in the market for a family game or a lightweight filler game, absolutely check this one out. It's going to be on Kickstarter very, very soon. I'll be sure to post the Kickstarter link below. And in the comments below, let me know, do you like this style of art? Like this cutesy, Japanese-inspired artwork? Me personally, no, I don't like it. But at the same time, I don't dislike it. It's not a deal breaker for me. But I prefer to see different kinds of artwork. But what about you? Do you like this kind of artwork? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube. That was the review for GemPacked cards. For more reviews and previews, check back at Bauer's Game Corner.